A pleasant good afternoon to everybody. Of course, welcome to you, Mr. Bruno. Fresh off your, I should say, hot program this afternoon, engaging with members of the general public. Tell us about that. Now, that last. I see you've been accused of being what do you call that? Arrogant. I- I've never known you to be arrogant. So tell
Well,
me.
boy, I've heard stranger things, but this is quite strange because yeah, that's it seems to be a new technique that the party that has not done very well in politics of Dominica for the past while and their supporters. It seems to be a new technique because I have never heard that all my life. So to learn that now about me is strange. And this, of course, is false. So people like you can be a witness. So I don't even have to defend that. Arrogant and me do not go in the same sentence. And that person who called me that, or who suggested that, or who brought it up, doesn't have to look very far to find arrogance. Not very far at all. He or she just needs to turn to their party and certain individuals in their party, and they will find arrogance. Not me. I'm not an arrogant person.
So it changed from deceitful to arrogance now.
Yeah, because deceitful doesn't seem to work, right? Deceitful didn't stick, so arrogant is now the new one that is not going to stick either.
Yes, bro. Yeah, but just welcome to another program we're having. Of course, today we have an announced program topic that we plan to discuss. We plan to discuss, of course, the international airport and of course the finance situation in Dominica, where it pertains to the money transfer services. We have two in Dominica that I'm aware of: Western Union and MoneyGram. You aware of that, Alex? You use them?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. I mean, these are vital services that I use on occasion. Um, so, yes, I'm aware of both services. I think the cost of using them is a bit much, but they come in very handy sometimes when you really need to get money to the next destination.
Quickly and
Yeah.
easily.
Oh, yes, man. Well, it's supposed to be, it had been, but I've been hearing some talks of late which suggest that all may not be well with the fast express money
Mhm.
transfer
But
in and out.
before we
Mm.
go into that, our Prime Minister mentioned that, or should I add, boastingly, that millions of dollars leaves Dominica through Western Union on a monthly basis.
Oh, yes. I heard of that statement because, as you know, I don't routinely follow the media. I depend on you and others to guide me, to be my ears and eyes, because I can't be everywhere. And I have sort of lost my passion to continuously follow our media because of, I think, how the media is operated. But yes, I heard of that statement. In fact, I heard that statement. I think it was you or somebody who might have sent the voice to me. And I kind of wondered, but did anybody come back or respond to the PM? And I don't think I heard anything
Oh no,
substantially
nobody,
moved.
no, I haven't heard anybody responding to that.
But that's
Not
unfortunate because the
not
media that I,
online,
huh?
not online, and not in the traditional media.
But that's,
Probably our good friend Emily Ansem of Emo News had it on her platform.
well,
Uh,
that's unfortunate because the kind of media that I was part of when I was involved in the media would have given some feedback or some clarity or some ask a follow-up question. Because if what I heard is what the PM is boasting of, and I suspect he's saying that as a means of spinning the narrative to support
that
the
there is
fact,
work, that there
yeah,
is work in the country.
yeah, and that it is people who are not willing to work and not make money that they have no excuse because look at the Haitians sending out millions of dollars a year. But that is working against him. Why did he say that? Because the last I checked, his social program promotes a mendicant situation where he personally gives money. In fact, they passed a new law in Parliament allowing for the Red Clinic financing to give money to people just like that for housing and other things that they need. So
Not
what
that
is that
people don't
doing?
need money for those kind of things,
They
but
need money, but
but
people need to find ways within the economy, within the country, in the private public sector, to gainfully acquire the money and spend the money in the economy to take care of the things, the basic things. Like housing is basic thing. No one should be giving you housing. If you really need it and you are destitute, fine. But not so many people in Dominica should be. But the fact is, his policy have created that situation for people to get free house, free this, free that, free that.
so when you do things like that, you create an environment where you restrict persons as to the type of lifestyle you want them to live, as opposed to putting the enabling environment can earn the money they want to have the lifestyle they choose.
Exactly. You put them into your own status. And they may see like doing a thing, a job, like a menial labor for them because, oh, I can get money from the prime minister. I'm not going to do that. I just waiting, I'm making a phone call and I bingo. Well, so the people who would normally do what the Haitians are doing, they're not doing it anymore. They don't need to do it because you are feeding them. So you are the one who create the problem for the Haitians to send all our money out of Dominica, and now you come in and boast of it, and nobody can tell you are wrong and put it back, throw the pie back in your face. The pie is
No,
in your face. It is your policies that bring in the migrants into our country to do what you tell our people do not do because I'll feed you. And you
no,
cannot now come and take benefit and claim that again as a thing that, oh, say Dominicans don't want to work because Haitians working and they sending money. The Haitians are migrant. They're going to find work to do, and the things that people would not do, they would do it. So they might even end up throwing the people's whatever. People don't do that now in Dominica. At the night after the thing that they threw. We don't do that anymore. But
no.
they would do the cutting of the yard, the cutting of the hair, the
Yes,
agriculture, the lawn maintenance, things that make good money. In America here, guys, I do anything to make money if I have to do it. Carlos, people do what they have to do to make money legally. I do my little DoorDash if I have to do it to make my extra money. As long as there is something to do, we do it. But in Dominica, some believe that they shouldn't because they get in. And I think it was a mistake not to have challenged the Prime Minister when he so gleefully boasted that the sector he created, the dependency sector that is causing other people to do the work and take our money to live, he should take benefit for that. And I'm
now
telling
that
you,
seems to be a trend, Alex. That seems to be a trend. And now, when we get into the international airport discussion, that we will go further into that. But that seems to be a trend in Dominica, held on by the current administration.
well, I think the administration is influenced by one man's ideal anyway. I don't think it's a one man government, but I certainly believe that the government is influenced by the ideals and ambitions of one man. And I think somehow his ideals seem to dominate and take root because he certainly has ideas of grandeur. And it appears as if he has branded the government with his views and his style, which is the case in local traditional Caribbean politics and government, where the prime minister pretty much carries the weight.
You wait, yes.
But it is too much so in Dominica. It's like a one-man state. And in situations where we have one person state, it's not always good. It's oppressive. And some people who are oppressed do not speak out because speaking out against the oppressor is putting themselves on the bread line. So they
You
will
put
not
yourself in
necessarily
trouble,
speak.
and you hear persons as high up as in the ministries, in the cabinet, afraid to talk.
Because they are dependent on the same person or the same system. Because they have been so compromised that speaking now is just too much too late or too little too late. But like me, I have never depended on the system for anything. I've never gone to ask. I have received. wants $10,000 to assist our team to go to Africa. A bona fide theater group who wanted to raise $150,000. I think Lennox Linton and Shirley had guaranteed $50,000 portion of that with their land paper. We took an overdraft and we paid back the overdraft at a high rate of interest. We took almost 2 years to pay it, but we paid it. So you know how much money the bank made on us because we didn't take a loan. It was an overdraft. And we made a mistake. We should have taken a loan. So long story short, the government subsidized our trip because I didn't go to ask for money. We were a theater group tour in Africa. So we benefited from that. So that's the only thing I remember knowing that we benefited from, and we were happy to get the money through Lotto.
And now that is the direction that Team Unity is thinking. You see that exact thing you're talking about there? The theater company tour in Africa. You're going out there, you go out there, you work, and you came back with the money. The banks made money on you paying back the overdraft. The various members of your team got paid, and who brought back gifts for their family members, who were able to feed, to pay their rent, their light bill, their water bill, that kind of thing. And that money came from out. That's the thinking.
Exactly.
That's the thinking we're supposed to be having in Dominica. And the Team Unity government would be surely focused on that, getting the money from outside and bringing it inside.
Yeah.
Because you can't keep spinning in and eating from one plate in the center in the island. At some point in time, the resources are going to be done.
It will bottom out, man, because Carlos, in the global economy, is your ability to get foreign exchange that makes you vibrant, and we are just not raking in foreign exchange. And the little money that we make in the local economy keeps going out. I mean, if the prime minister is correct, and I believe he is, I mean, a lot of hundreds of millions of dollars are leaving. How are we surviving in Dominica? I mean, it is a miracle. The ship of state have not collapsed. So before it happens, we should fix it. And that thing he talked about, the Haitians sending money out, he should never have said that, because it's an indictment against him. It doesn't look good on him, but I guess somebody advised him and he thinks. And the fact that no one responded, probably. Again, others are going to say Alex think he knows more, but I'm just expressing a little bit of what I think I understand. And yes, to do what I'm doing, you're supposed to understand how the economy works. And I did do some work on that. So I know we have other economists on the island. So I was hoping the senior economists would have responded. But didn't Dr. Fontaine say something about it, about that statement?
He has said words to those effects.
I would expect him to. He's a good man, Dr. Fontaine. Very good man. So I would expect him to have responded. And others who understand economy. But again, as you said, some people are compromised and they just fail to speak. But we are going to need those people who understand the economy in moving forward to help us fix the economy. Because the present prime minister is not going to be prime minister forever. No matter how much some people wish that. It's not going to happen. And when he gets out of there, by whatever way, we're going to have to regroup and fix our economy. Because I think as Minister of the Economy, and Finance, I'm not too sure that but there's very little to show the progress that we should have made under a settled administration. I mean, that administration is gifted with power, for over a quarter century. And we should be booming, man. We should be like the most enterprising Caribbean country.
You see, Alex, I wouldn't say praised. I have credited a wonderful idea that this administration has put into place, but handled badly. The idea of the abattoir in Layo Park. That is a wonderful idea. The coffee plant, yes, although it hasn't been used, and hearing them wanting to exploit now after almost 10 years of it being put up. But it's interesting. I have a brother who lives in the UK, we speak regularly, almost daily. And this morning he was making his breakfast for his family, and I say, "Hey, Carlos, I'm making a kakuti." I say, "What? Mommy sent you something, man?" Man showed me a package. Man showed me a package. Saint Lucia.
Yeah,
I
let us
say,
sit down there.
I say,
Mhm.
look at that boy.
Let us sit down there.
So I asked him to send me a picture of the things. These people, I mean, yes, it's more difficult in the Caribbean to to organize our branding and to handle exports individually to clients, the end user. So probably we can start looking at from the Ministry of Trade, from Dexia, from those sort of the Ministry of Agriculture. All those things will be done under Team Unity government. So Viva Mamu, you can tell them that is what Carlos said. Team Unity government will emphasize more on the exports from our country. Simple things like lemongrass.
Oh,
What then?
I'm happy you said that because
What then?
I know Dr. Fontaine had spoken about the use of lemongrass for fragrance of perfumes, which is true. The best smelling perfumes have been the fragrance come from lemongrass and other such herbs. And I can remember a member of parliament castigating Dr. Fontaine, laughing at the man,
And
saying, lemongrass, that thing scratching so much. I'm like, oh my word.
a lot of us who come from the countryside and those who live internationally, I'm sure you would have loved to have a bois and tea for breakfast.
Carlos,
You from Kalibishi.
we used to use lemongrass to wash our clothes. You know. When you wash your clothes with lemongrass, added on the river stone, your clothes coming out smelling like how you use those kind of a thing now, comfort and whatever it is, my brother.
And the disinfectants.
Yeah, a Boaden tea. There's nothing that beats that, you call that a chauffeur chair. So those people who look down and snob on the ideas that we can build an economy on those things that is can be sustained, they missed the boat. And for 15, 20 years now, they have been depending on what for the economy, Carlos?
Passports.
Passport. And we have done well to maintain for so long. I'm telling you, I do not know how much longer that passport can sustain, can hold us. It's sooner rather than later. And look now, we are building an airport on the strength of passport sales.
Let's not go there yet.
So
Pull
we
back.
have to get serious. And when you say team unity, it's not about just you and I alone, It's team unity, everyone who is willing to work for progress.
Everybody's willing to look for move forward.
Progress, not just us as a team. We're not an exclusive party. We are a platform for progress and growth. Everyone, including people like Viva and others, let us have a meaningful, progressive conversation, man.
Via
Enough
will
of
see that.
the
I see.
tabloidish kind of a gossip and the sharing of the myth. All of that is
I am
fine.
of the firm belief that Viva will see the light.
But Viva has seen the light. I know Viva, I have spoken to Viva one on one, And I know Viva understands, but Viva still believes in certain things that probably Viva believes in. But when Viva realize that, boy, the things I believe in is not really what it is, people like them will come around and Dominicans will move a mass, not to us, but to the idea of the team to change how things are done. You cannot shoot people down when people do decide not to work with you anymore. When people decide, you know what Nelson Mandela said about working with your enemy? He said, if you want to make the enemy your friend, you must first work with the enemy and the enemy become your partner. My brother, in politics, there's no enemy, boy. Enemy should be the person you go after. Especially if the person was with you for 40 years and they leave you. You're just kicking them out down the streets. Keep on going. No, boy. If you can't bring back one who left you, how are you going to get one that was never with you? So in team unity, we are not about that. We are about open for all and we hope that everyone with a progressive view will be part of the view. No, it may not happen overnight that you get power, but eventually it's going to happen.
Now
Eventually.
let's come back to, because our focus has been on, supposed to be firstly on the money transfer services.
Yeah.
Because of how the country is right now, a lot of people depend on their relatives and friends who are overseas to send them monies for the basic subsistence, which should not be, but the country is as it is. Let us just work with it, how it is. I'm going to give you a story of something that happened recently, Alex. I
Yeah.
had a friend who visited Dominica for a week from another island. They came and their money was done while they were in Dominica. They have money in at their home, but they don't have access to it. So they called their relatives to send them money to Dominica, Western Union. I dropped them off to Western Union, went find parking. Within 15 minutes, I seen them coming. I said, "Oh, something wrong, man." Western Union is telling them after following the line for a little while. Rose so busy, I'd spend a while get parking. That they cannot get the money, even though it has been sent to them. I cannot give you the money because we don't have money. That's why I kid you not. That is what they were told.
Hold on. The Western Union payout station
Yes.
who receives the notice to pay people because somebody sent
Yes.
money for them
Yes.
is telling the receiver that they cannot get the money because they have no money to give the money.
That's what they were told. I kid you not. I to be very honest, I was heartbroken when I was told that, because I know these guys that many friends at the company, and I know these guys are working hard, but that is telling on the state of the country.
Hold on, Carlos. No. Did the person have all their proper names and
All the
ID?
proper name, their IDs, their passports,
So the
the
problem,
the transfer number, everything was there. Yes, I see your money there. I see the transaction there, but I cannot give it to you.
because
We do not have money to pay out.
Papa,
Even while there are persons in the line sending money.
well, I do not know whether you can send right away and use what you get for sending to payout. I think it's two different accounts. Maybe, I do not know. Should be.
Well, I don't know.
Because you have to account for all the money you receive at the end of the day. So maybe it's difficult to just take it and send it at one time. Or there should be some way of doing that. So I do not know how that works. What you're telling me, so that's a problem of, so what problem? How did that occur
Well, I
for
cannot
the
answer that.
agency not to have money? Maybe they're not, I don't know, they're not, I don't understand, Carlos. It's not making sense. That's a breach of contract.
No.
If I send money to you, Carlos, I spend the money, they take my money, they charge me to send $500 to Carlos instead of charge me $90 or whatever, plus the exchange rate. So I send that to you. Then you go for the money, and then they're telling you, they don't have the money to give you the money. But that's a breach of contract.
And the money is there. You can go, well, me as a recipient can go online with the number and track it and see it's there. But I cannot go to Western Union. And there's only one Western Union active in Dominica, because they
But
closely
it's not,
want
Western
they
Union
closely want in Portsmouth.
well, if I know Western Union, well, that's my friends, my partners, and them. Way.
Tell you, these are my people. These are my
So is
people.
so it's a problem on their end, or where the problem is?
I would not blame the company for that. In my mind, that is a reflection of the economy.
The economy. They probably don't have the liquid to get the money they need to pay out on that day.
Right.
Because the money does not come from them. They cannot just hold liquid money there. The money must come from the banks. And the banks is oh boy, oh boy. You serious?
Now that happened on a Saturday morning.
But the person can't get money until Monday.
The person had to travel on Sunday evening.
So what did the what that is a crisis.
So how are you going to pay your taxes for you to leave the country?
Or to
How are
pay
you going to
or to pay the
the
taxi to
taxi
take you to the
to bring
airport.
you up to the airport. You see the recurring effect? To
Wow.
pay prim to carry the bags from the taxi to the line.
Or to eat, to buy something at the
To buy
airport, at the restaurant,
a little in the Kuzlatic restaurant, Orchard restaurant at the Melville Hall, Douglas Charles Airport.
or to stop on the way Marigot and buy a thing by Vina or somewhere. But that's
Stop Bells by Andrea and have a drink. No
a
money.
beer or something, ginger wine. But that is a problem. So let us not cast any aspersions. As you said, I think this is not the agency issue. No? I think it's a wider issue.
Let's go to MoneyGram.
Uh-huh.
A relative of mine receives some money via MoneyGram.
Yes.
They were told that they cannot receive the money in Roseau. You have to go to Portsmouth to receive the money.
What is that now?
I brought the person to Portsmouth. I did.
MoneyGram has an outlet in Roseau
And Portsmouth.
and Portsmouth. And the rule is, or it's a rule or whatever, condition.
I don't know if it's a rule or a condition.
But I pick up MoneyGram in Roseau already when I was in Roseau picking up money.
Me too. I picked up more. But as of right now, that is how it is.
That for you to get MoneyGram money, you have to go Posse.
Portsmouth. At the location next to Harry Spence. Across from where Flu used to be.
It's not making sense to me, Carlos.
So are you going to blame, who are you going to blame for? Are you blaming the company for that? Or is it a policy being put in place? Is it some level of control? Is it a liquid issue we have in Dominica?
Liquidity. It feels like liquidity problems in the overall the wider economy. But could it also be that the agency does not probably have the money? But how can you not have the money if you have
two different companies? Just like Western Union, the Portsmouth branch is not the same people. It's a different person.
So it's different people. So everybody can have the same problem. Probably it's a wider problem than beyond everybody else. That's what you say.
That's what it suggests to me.
Well, do some work, my brother. That's what you have to do. Not as an investigative journalist, but as a politician. You have to go and talk to the people, talk to the agents, and you report to Dominica what is going on, my brother. That is your job as leader of our party, for a movement, is to get the facts. Now that you have raised the problem, we know how to find solutions. So I'm hoping that on the next program, you would have been able to speak to some people and we know exactly what is going on, because that does not sound right. I mean, you get a little money. Let's suppose you get $100. That is $260.
267.
To go to Portsmouth for. But
with the new bus fare, the increase in bus fare.
And the inconvenience, the time in between.
Right. And you have to go back to work.
But you might end up losing your job. Or you might have to hire Carlos and let Carlos go for that for you. So the money die on the highway.
Yeah.
Wow, Dominicans have been taken too much. That's too much, Carlos. Please, my friend, this is, again, as your GS, I think that should be one of your responsibilities this week, to go on the ground.
That is, I have been on the ground. I've been asking some persons.
I know you have been on the ground, but go and get some answers, conclusive answers, and see whether the answers you get can be addressed through our initiative to revamp the economy. We will show people where we have that and how we can do that.
No, I have been seeing persons, and you, Alex, I'm not sure if you pay attention to what goes on in social media, but yeah. I've been seeing persons complaining a lot of our indigenous bank, and clients having issues with getting access to their funds, the charges increasing, and limited to or no prior notification of certain charges coming up, or even if they're perceived new systems,
Mhm.
persons are having more issues using those systems as opposed to prior to the upgrades. So if Western Union giving problems, MoneyGram giving problems, our indigenous bank giving problems, what it creates problems on many fronts.
Yeah, it seems to be a wider issue, not just the agents and the banks, but a wider um, some economic trigger that is not happening, and if there's the liquidity in the country is not there. Probably too much money is going out, not enough coming in, and there is an imbalance. So we are going through our own set of crisis, economic crisis in Dominica, and probably that's what we are feeling.
And it was a couple months ago. I was on a different program and I pointed out to the imbalanced trade we have in Dominica right now. A basic commodity as chicken. Now you heard me earlier say giving credit to the production of the abattoir.
Yeah.
A basic commodity as chicken. We import millions of dollars every year in chicken. Millions. One would think that that would be an area that we should be pushing our farmers to get increased capacity. Now, a friend of mine owns a chicken farm. Uh, right now, he has had to scale down. It's so expensive to run those chicken farms. But you have to now look at marketing the product as a delicacy as opposed to a regular product.
A basic food product.
Yes.
So, but in our plan, because we are the only team which presented a written plan for the development of our country this last election cycle. Here we go. The naysayers will say we didn't do well, we didn't win, but we are the only team, and the records will show that we had a very carefully deliberate development plan that spoke about our thrust into agriculture and to make agriculture a sustainable industry within the first term of our office. The only political entity on earth which had a plan for the last election. And it's here. Carlos has it up right now. A complete full manifesto in full color. And we were not the team in government, you know. We are the latest team. We were 2 months old, but we were able to have a manifesto. And if you go through the manifesto, Carlos, you will make it available again on the link under the live. And right after the live, place it up again. Keep on renewing the post and pin it at the top of our post. Let people go through there and see our plans in terms of creating new jobs in the agricultural industry and economy, into moving away from the dependency on passport sale as the main economic earner and letting our food that we eat and the idea we had for agro processing, the idea we have for organic, and even the production of local meats. So this vast importation of chicken, which is not as healthy as those we grow in Dominica, it cannot be, would replace all those money we spend on chicken bringing. Now, all the companies who buy chicken from overseas will get chicken from local because we would invest in the local farmers and poultry farms to grow because we have water. That's the major
Tomatoes.
essence when it comes to growing chicken,
And
right?
I buy my chicken. I go to the local area first.
But brother, when you cook your chicken, when you cook your little fowl at your home, it tastes so much sweeter than the fowl that comes in. So yes, you go to the local, it might be a little more, but what if we were in government, we would do things to ensure that at least the
The
local could
price will
compete.
come down. Everybody, every chicken farmer knows that the number one problem that they have in the production of chicken is the price of feed.
So we fix the problem
We
by
have a we have the government has a brand new minister of agriculture, Honorable Roy. I think he's a good man.
raise a good man.
He's a talented guy, and he has good intentions. Bro, focus a little more on that. Focus
And
more
we don't
on.
even care what they do. We just know that if they do it for Dominica. We're not looking for glory. We want our country to bingo. So you can either get the food, cut a deal with the suppliers, or have the food produced locally. You have water, you have all the raw material, set up a food manufacturing plant, and you can sell food to the Caribbean and the world. Brand
We
our food.
we allow a major project in Dominica to go to Barbados. Ross, I'm not going to dwell on that.
But why you bring
I'm
that up for
saying
now?
I'm
Why you
saying
bring that up for now? That's a whole program on itself, you know. Man.
I'm moving past that. The place where our chicken farmers buy the hatchlings from is Barbados. The focus should be on trying to get it cheaper from Barbados or develop it in Dominica so that our farmers can get it readily available, a hatchery. I know something was being done before, but there were complaints on the quality of the chicks. I'm not sure how that is going on right now.
So why Barbados can do it and we can do it?
We have water.
And we have more land and more water than Barbados, more everything. You know what I'm saying? We're not dissing Barbados, but what I'm saying, we are the nature island of the world, and water is the essence of agriculture and poultry. Water. That's why we have water flowing down to the sea every day, just wasting into the sea. We have water sweetening the sea water. We can create a situation where we can have a hatchery, a national hatchery where people can buy the chicken, and you do some for eggs, you do some for meat. Really? But we have that in our manifesto. That's not passport still can sustain our economy. It might make some people rich overnight. But look at what's going to make more people rich, farmers and people who are interested in that. So Carlos Boy, I think it's time we get into government. We hope people like Viva Mamu and others can come and be part of the progressive movement, you know. Dr. Fontaine et al., you know, let's talk. Let's find ways to win and to get there and to go serve our people. That's what I've
Um,
always said. That's what I've always promoted. That's what TUD is promoting. We're not saying that we should have one party, all parties come together, but let all minds come together. First of all, we got to win. So we can go and implement policies to make Dominicans bling again. If there was money to be made in chicken, I would have had a chicken farm because I have a river running right next to my property. I would organize a farm and I would make sure I can sell 1,000 chicken every week. I wouldn't, of course, I would do that.
6 weeks from birth to death.
I would sell 1,000 chicken every week because I would make sure I rotate my growth. And every week we harvest 1,000 chicken and that goes out to places. That's not even enough. But the enabling environment must be in place for that.
Has to be created. We have to focus more on increasing capacity.
All right. So I agree with you, and I think the wood is going to nicely. Partner, I hope we're not angering anybody. We're just offering ways in which we can work with what is presently there to make things better.
Now, let us. Well, we cannot leave that topic because that is something that is has to be a focus, and it has to be driven home. It has to be driven home. You have to ring it in everybody's head.
Mhm.
Export, 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 export. To get money in, you have to get products out so that the money can come in.
Yeah.
We are undertaking the largest infrastructural project in the history of Dominica, post in the especially in the post-independence era. This is something that everybody wants. How it's being done, how it's supposed to be done, how the processes involved in it being done. I I'm not I have no I have my little issues with it, but I want it to get done.
You're talking about Dominica's International Airport.
Very smart fella.
All right.
We're now 40 minutes into our program, and before we spend the entire hour talking about our exports, which is very important, I want us to touch on this topic.
Well, we should come
No,
back and we will need to continue that discussion if we start in that topic, and because there is a lot that can be said. But let
no,
me let me state our team's view on the airport, and then you as leader will do the political part of it. But as an overall principle and policy, we are 100% in support of the construction of an airport in Dominica. We think in the modern era, an international gateway of such magnitude is necessary. Although we believe that the problem is not necessarily access, it's logistics, because Liat was serving well before Liat is not serving the way that they're serving. So I'm hoping that the development is considering the infrastructure and also looking at the interconnectability, the logistics for getting the people in, because it doesn't make sense to build an airport and don't have the traffic. So we trust that the system is doing everything. But with that said, we wholeheartedly, unreservedly support the construction of an airport in the modern era. Dominica being one of the few countries in the world without such infrastructure. So we are fully in support of the development of an airport. But we believe, as you said, Mr. Politician, that the construction of the most fundamental, the biggest infrastructural development in Dominica, in the life of our nation, should be such that many people in Dominica, as much as possible, benefit from its development in every capacity, every sphere: labor, construction, transportation, supplies, material, technology, engineering, the works. Dominicans should become millionaires thanks to the construction of our airport, meaning that Dominicans first should be embraced to provide labor and services, technology, equipment, everything. And I'm not too sure that that wish has been realized, because we observe in real time the first operation since the announcement of the next phase of the airport was a boat, a vessel docking into Dominica to offload equipment, heavy duty machinery, etc., for the commencement of work on the airport. And that to me was a fundamental wrong beginning. I mean, you could bring that in too, but we could have heard an announcement asking for what you need. And if we didn't have what you need, we could see that coming to augment what you need. So let's hope that they have sussed out the locals to see our stock, what we have. Because I know many Dominicans invested in heavy duty and in truck and capacity, and would invest in it if you had given us an opportunity to. Because if I knew that the airport is coming and dumpers are going to work, and you tell me it's coming, that is enough to give the bank the go away to borrow money to people. I would buy 2 dumpers and a caterpillar to work on the airport. I'll make money from the project, I'll pay the bank, and the economy would be better. But to bring in all those equipment before you even find out who wants to invest in it, because I would invest in it. Carlos, you would invest in it too. It's my government, it's my airport. I'd want to invest. So I think with all the support that our team support the effort, the way in which we see things are happening in the opening salvo suggests that the trend of this government continues to be that the people struggle and suffer while outside interests make all the pepesh, and that money keeps on funneling out of Dominica. So that is our reservation, and we hope that that can be remedied. But we are in 100% support of moving forward with a project like that. And that is our official statement. So, Carlos, you are the politician now. You can add your bit to it and twist it and spin it. But I hope the public understand where we are on that.
I must make my voice be heard in disdain of the manner in which the government is handling the international airport project. I can remember years ago the Loda Road was being done by a Vincentian company, I think it was, their name Dipcon. And even one of the guys who used to work there is back in St. Lucia. It's one of my good friends. He's back in St. Lucia. And every time I go to St. Lucia, he'll me up, man. The King Juice man. Say, boy, Dominica, all your country sweet, eh? You know, the Lucians and the accent already. Yeah, but in the closing stages of that airport, the guys were so impressed with our local guys' efficiency that they wanted to bring them down to St. Vincent for the construction of the Argyle International Airport. That was, if you remember, at the same time when the Vinces were building their airport, we were told that we don't need that, and our Prime Minister went down there smiling and
Yes, yes.
drinking in
I
the
remember the Vinci Prime Minister suggested we didn't need that. I remember that clearly.
right.
Yeah.
They wanted to bring down our guys, equipment, trucks, machines, and so on, to St. Vincent to work on that airport project. That things were being put in place. And when the guys in St. Vincent understood that that was happening, they said, "No way, no way, that is not going to happen. We are going to empower our people." So they went into Trinidad, who went into England, who went, and ordered. They build their capacity.
Yes.
What do we need to build the airport? This is what you need: a loader, you need a grader, you need an excavator, you need that size excavator, you need a four-wheel drive dump truck, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
Not
made sure
one,
that
maybe 10. Yeah.
they made sure that they had the requisite equipment they have the airport now, right?
Yeah.
Now it's all well and good that if there's a specific piece of equipment that you need to get the production done, that the company who is charged with the construction, they may want to source it themselves. But simple basic things like trucks, excavators, graders, backhoes.
That does not hurt a construction company. And
Alex,
if our
Alex,
government
down to crushers, I understood they brought in
they might bring
crushers,
they might bring stones and water too, man.
crushers,
They might
and
bring
we have
crushed
that
stones
in
too. And
Dominica.
badge, they have a badge too. They might bring crushed stones too, for all you know. I mean, and that is where I think the government really, really got it wrong. And probably, I mean, it is regrettable that the insights and the vision is lacking. When you are stale, sometimes you don't see those things. Because if they had only announced a year ago that we are going to need that, I think the little protests and the things we see now would not be a case, because people would be in to make money and the banks would give money and the banks would get their money back because projects have money. And if the project have money, people will make money. I really hope that project have money so the monies can actually be made. Maybe the fact that money was not made available or the opportunities was not given to the locals is because there is not enough money in the project. Carlos, that could be a problem too.
I may not want to comment on that level, but I have heard some cries in that direction.
Oh, well,
And and, and, and I'm in the sector, so I have insight in certain things.
And you will always speculate in a situation where there's no information. I think the government has been very stingy when it comes to information. We support, as we say, we support.
Yeah,
We want to see this thing happen. But why so stingy? Why so frugal when it comes to letting the people know? For instance, opening up the thing out to people. Let me go to National Bank and beg Narin Murphy, say, Narin, boy, give me the money, no, man. I'll make the money back in a year's time. Project come in. Narin will give me the money. I'll buy two dumper, buy a crusher, buy something. So they should give us an opportunity. So when our project is finished, you now have some skilled people who can be exported to go do a project somewhere else. But after the construction of that airport, we will not be any better off as a country, as a people, as skilled people. And that is the problem I have with the project. I do not know what other problem anybody else has, but as someone, looking in from the outside, because we have no information to gauge.
Alex, Alex, as recently as Friday, 17th March, that's 2 days ago, the Truckers Association met with the CEO of the Airport Development Company, that's Mr. Johnson, to get an understanding as to what their role as local truckers in the construction of the international project would be. And the threat to our expected niche of haulage of material on the main road, since the trucks brought in are comparable to what is available in Dominica. 6x4 as
So they brought in trucks that we have here.
yes,
AA.
yes.
No, cannot be.
So my problem is we know having that meeting, no, this weekend having that
After
meeting.
the trucks come in,
After the trucks come in, after the equipment is, after our local equipment operators are being exploited to move those same trucks, not trucks, equipment from the former public works compound to Wesley, and our people are here whose equipment is packed in bush, grass covering it, and we have the equipment just there. And they go in and get brand new stuff from China to bring into Dominica.
man,
Not that I have a problem with Chinese equipment. I don't
no,
have a
nothing
problem.
wrong. Nothing wrong. Is nothing wrong. It is just that
The
offer us,
secrecy associated with it is very suspect.
offer us some protection. Something does not seem right. If we
And
have the
that,
project, if the project is fund financed, if we have the money, it should be spent in a way that benefits our people. Probably again, the money is not readily available. Probably
no, what
that's
you tell us is our money. You tell us it's our money, our passports are paying for it. So
it.
why we not being the first ones to benefit from the money that we already own?
But how
All of
much?
us own it.
But Carlos, do you know how many passports we have to sell to develop that airport? I'm not too sure whether that is even a feasible thing. Eh? That can be that's another question probably we can discuss. It would be
But
nice if Thompson Fontaine would want to come on our program to talk. I don't think he would, but he should. Come on here and let's talk. He and the man from the Freedom Party, oh, let's talk. As groups of people interested, let's put out a public notice invitation for them, because I tried privately for them on your behest, Carlos, and I was not lucky. So probably we should put out a public notice asking the economist and the other gentleman who has some good understanding to come. Let's have a conversation about what is really maybe most likely taking place. And I have a very good friend. He's also involved in the citizenship by investment project. He has a major project that was done, a very good project on the program. And I think he's also on the airport committee. Probably we could invite him as well to have a chat with us. Probably he might enlighten us and give us some answers. We should reach out. Let's go there, Carlos, because if they're not doing it, let us do it. So you gain more work for you, my friend. See who you can get for next week, and let's continue to have the conversation, Mr. Leader.
yeah, well, I'm peeved by that action by the government. I cannot believe your interests cannot be people when your first your first operation is to bring in things that your people already have. There are guys in Wesley with trucks that are parked, and you're building an airport right
But
in the
but
area.
but I could have invested in trucks too. I'm from Calibishi with Fort Hill.
There are
I would
persons
have liked.
overseas who called me, and Dominicans who called me and said, Carlos, I want to contribute in the airport project. I am interested in making some money. Of course, I know you in the sector. I know you in it. I want to at least buy a truck or two. What do you think? What do you think? You think now is the right time? I say, brother, you see that airport thing? Just
I would like to
leave your
buy a
money with
truck and call the bank and ask Narin boy to sponsor that truck. Ask for a couple quarter $1 million. I would get the money because I know I'm going to make it $5,000 a trip. That's not a trip, not from routing to
really?
not 5 grand for a trip. No, that's what I paid for it when I hired them.
Oh, yes. Uh,
Isn't that what the government paying for a trip?
the the rumored price is not even $2,000. The rumored price. It's
So the,
allegedly,
so the project now is paying less than the going price for a trip.
allegedly.
Carlos boy say black cafe boy. He's joking making on me. Carlos, you getting me angry for no reason, man. But
Well,
what
guys,
anyway, I would still try. I don't believe you. I don't believe that's the case. I sorry, I disagree. I believe the government is paying the going price.
I have friends in the sector and both here and abroad, and they are angry at what is going on. They are angry, and I can tell you, I have the list of truckers and our thing, our capacity. And Dominica has capacity. Dominica has capacity.
I know when we were building the roads in the 80s. I was a kid, a youth, and I remember people like Vito and them fellas, they were driving the big dumpers that were brought in for Rush and Tompkins and Centra. But we didn't have the capacity back then. But our drivers did drive because Vito was an older guy, Victor Jacob, short, very, very short, about 5 feet tall. And he was driving them big dumpers. I was saying, well, how are you doing that now? But our guys were able to drive the big trucks because we didn't have those trucks. Well, if we have them and we have business people who have families who have loans to pay, why they not want the ones driving, or why aren't they contracted for at least the next 5 years?
Well, as a few weeks ago, a list was leaked in the public sphere of persons who are coming in from overseas to work on the international airport project. And subsequent to that, I saw a advertisement being shared for jobs. Dominicans to apply for jobs. Jobs, come and work, come and work, come and work. But if you look at the jobs that are available, basic entry level jobs.
Menial jobs. So you have a list of people confirmed to come in before you published the list of labor you need. Oh, boy, we have a problem. Carlos, we should do a protest, man.
This is what we should be protesting.
TUD should mount a protest, Carlos.
This is what the protest should be all about.
Eh, eh,
Not whether or not the airport is being built or who building it or if a plan is being put out. Uh, there is no way, Alex, and with the madness that I call it madness, with the way the perceived madness that is going on at the airport, there is no way that an airport that is going to be used by international flights who are governed by the Federal Aviation Authority is going to be done without their review,
okay.
without their supervision.
Well, let's put it that way. Say, let's suppose our government is crazy enough to do that. It will be a pie in their face. Because if they do
An
that and they tie up
embarrassment
so
for
much
them.
money without the benchmark and the prerequisite, it will show off on them. It will eventually look very ugly on their report card. So whatever way it is, let us see. Don't worry about it. Let them go. And I don't think they would be so naive at that level of the game to go and put that infrastructure down, even to dig one hole before what they need to do. So if they dare to do it, let them. Why worry yourself about trying to let them do what they should do? Let them do what they have to do. If they didn't do it, it's going to be on them. Yes, it's going to affect Dominica, but sometimes, as the saying goes, you have to let things be for things to be. Because you cannot be so brazen in this modern life to build an infrastructure like this, of that magnitude, and first of all, not involve your people, which has not been the case. And secondly, not have the prerequisites to do it, which we do not know if it's the case. Well, apparently, I don't know, based on the comments I'm hearing, certain things are not in place. So somebody's playing a gimmick. And I'm telling you, those gimmicks can come back and bite people and kick them in their bottom, you know. So if that's the gimmick they want to play, well, fine. But sooner rather than later, it will catch up. Dominicans will eventually see it. And I believe in our people, Carlos. You have to have trust and have confidence in our people and feed them with the right information. Don't lie to them, which I think some seems to be doing. So our job as a team is not to fight anybody, but is to try to represent our people and to hope that those who want to do the same do the same. And those who are not representing the people in the true sense of the word will suffer. The people will eventually, Carlos, have the last say. Remember, I told you that, my brother. We don't have to be in power today or tomorrow. But eventually, this thing will come free, full circle, and those who are taking the people for granted will feel the brunt of the people. Because when Dominicans can't take no more, if they really can't take no more, somebody will get the blow, and it's not going to be team unity. So that is my view on that. I know what time has come and gone, and I thought we should continue that next week. If you want me back, I'll come back. But I am asking that you get our good friend who understands the system, who is part of the committee to develop the airport. If he would be nice if he could come on with us and call Thompson and Bernard and these guys. Let's have a discussion. Call Lennox or whoever wants to come on. Let's talk, man. That's what we need to do. You don't need to have me on if you don't want to have me on. Call Viva. Let Viva come out of hiding and express somebody. Let's have the conversation, Carlos. That's your job as political leader for a movement. You're the politician, not me. Let's make it happen, my friend. What are you saying?
Guys, it's 2 minutes past the hour. We have an engagement coming up very soon, and we have to end our event.
What engagement do you have going up there, Carlos? What engagement do you have going up there? Tell the people what you're going to do. Don't hide.
When it's time, they'll get to know.
At 4:40 today, yeah. So you're getting ready for that, boy, Carlos, boy.
Yes.
Big things are going.
Yes. So the work continues. The work continues, and of course, our people would like to thank you for tuning in to us. Feel free to share the programs, and those who will play it afterwards, we thank you for playing it. We just give a shout out to our members, Kendra, Kenty, Irwin, and the others. Those who be working behind the scenes, both in Dominica and abroad, giving their positive contributions. Thank you for being part of the movement. Of course, Viva, thank you for tuning in. Your comments are welcome. And of course, the others who are viewing as well, those who comment privately. Just give a shout out to our Dominicans on wider abroad, Dominicans here, and of course, our truckers. We feel for you, bro.
We are with you. We are with you. We're going to fight for you too. We may not call for a protest right away, but we are going to represent your views. Probably you should have the truckers on the first, Carlos, too. You're not a trucker, no, Carlos?
Yes, so the thing with, well, we'll talk about that.
You're afraid, man, Carlos?
No, I'm not afraid. I'm here.
All the people, all they can say is no.
I'm here.
I put a problem on the leaderboard.
You're trying to look me trouble.
You're looking at it like Elkin Henry there. I seen you there. You know Elkin?
He's the grandfather of one of my friends.
But you never met Elkin Henry?
No, I haven't met him, but I know of his family.
A political wizard.
I know of his family.
Wise man.
Yes.
Wise man. Very, very wise man.
I should say
Very, very wise
the
man. You look
Proverbs.
like him,
I
Carlos. You look a
should
little like
probably
him there.
say the father and grandfather of the Mao constituency.
But let me tell you, El, Elkin was not an easy guy.
Anyway, Alex, let's not go too much into that. We will talk a little more further. Guys, thank you for tuning in. We thank you for being here with us. Stay tuned for the next appointed time.
Cheers.
Immunity Roundtable discussion.